Hello and welcome to CSE Issuer Update Clip. I'm Dimitri Giller. Joining me today is Hratch Jabrayan, CEO at Galloper Gold Corp, ticker symbol BOOM or BOOM on the CSE. Hratch, welcome.
Dimitri, thank you for having me. Much appreciated.
Glad to have you. So let's talk about the big news. Congratulations on being awarded the Exempt Mineral Land's license. Can you walk us through what the award means for Galloper Gold and why it's so significant?
Yeah, definitely significant for Galloper Gold and our shareholders. Basically, what we have is a known 43-101 resource in this exempt mineral land, which now belongs to Galloper Gold, with 178,800 ounces minimum. And I say minimum because the 43-101 was done in 2017. So 2017 values were used. And I would venture to say if we look at the gold price difference from 2017 to now, there's going to be a considerable amount there that is not accounted for. What's also more interesting is that, back in 2012, when drilling was completed on the exempt mineral land, they stopped drilling in mineralization. So that means the potential there to expand on that resource is huge. So based on about 17,000 meters of drilling that was done in 2012, if we were to look at to do that today, we would be spending about $10 million to drill 17,000 meters. So what we've been able to do is we've been able to save our shareholders, our investors, about $16 million or $15 million or $10 million and have added about $500 million worth of value to our books without spending that money. So as it stands, compared to 4 weeks ago, even though our market cap is almost still the same, $4.5 million, we have actually added a $500 million resource to our books. So the market hasn't appreciated what has happened yet, but I'm very sure they will once we start drilling on the exempt mineral land.
Okay, so the Lunch Pond South Extension, or LPSE property, is about 1,926 hectares and has an estimate of roughly 178,000 ounces of gold in the prolific Clover Island Trend, which hosts multiple gold and base metal prospects. How does adding this definitive property resource reshape the company's exploration portfolio and the overall value proposition?
Yeah, it gives us multiple dimensions to look at. I mean, Clover Island is a huge property, 144 square kilometers in total, and there's a lot of mineralization on the island. And we're just really scratching the surface. As you know, last year we initiated our maiden drill program, a small one, 1,600 meters, about 6 kilometers away from the exempt mineral land, in an area called Lucky Smoke. And based on limited drilling, we saw very similar results to what the EML had back in the 2012 drilling. Now, simultaneously, about 1.3 kilometers northeast of that, we came across a previously totally undiscovered minimum 13 kilometer copper anomaly that needs a lot of work done on it. So what this is telling us is that there is multiple dimensions we can go in on the island. There is the potential to have multiple deposits within that whole island itself. So it creates an enormous opportunity for us to expand our approach on the island. Instead of focusing just on Lucky Smoke, now we have the exempt mineral land, we have Lucky Smoke, we have the copper anomaly, and we have multiple other targets that we have identified that we would like to drill on.
Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about strategic investments. Galloper also recently closed a private placement with Dundee Precious Metals, a well-known name in the mining sector. How important is it to have this kind of strategic backing at this stage? And how will the funds be deployed as you move forward in the exploration?
Yeah, considering we are very, very early in the game, I mean, Galloper Gold is a microcap, a very early stage exploration company. The fact that we have been able to create an initial partnership with Dundee Precious Metals is enormous for us. Dundee currently is our largest shareholder with 5 million shares in the organization. And that gives us a lot of credibility in the sense that obviously they have seen something in our project that they believe in. Now, since then, obviously, we have been able to land the exempt mineral land. So that gives us a lot more credibility and obviously a lot more opportunities. Understanding the Dundee culture, they are a forward-looking organization. They think broadly, and their management team is really next to none in the world. Obviously, I'm very familiar with them. So we see this as a huge value proposition for our shareholders, for our potential investors and the future of the company. In regards to the funds, obviously those funds are used strategically on Galloper Island. We are going to take forward the copper anomaly a little bit, spend some of that money on that, and we will make sure that we appropriate it properly over the course of the next several months.
Okay, so let's talk about the big picture. You've mentioned that the LPSC connects with Galloper Gold's Lucky Smoke prospect, where you drilled successfully in 2024. How does this linkage create a distinct scale opportunity?
Oh, wow. I mean, the opportunity there is going to be something to be really, really excited about. In the bigger picture, if we look at Galloper Island, only 60 kilometers away from the Galloper Island, we have the recent Marathon discovery, which eventually became Valentine's Gold, obviously, which is owned by Equinox right now. And, they have 5 million ounces and potentially a lot more on that property. If we look at historically, only about 60, 70 kilometers away, there is the historic Buckens VMS deposit, the largest copper deposit that was mined in the 30s and 40s, and it's being explored again right now. And then, looking at the north of us with the multiple potential with the Bayvert fault line and where Galloper Island sits, we have absolutely zero doubt that we are on the verge of the next best big thing in Newfoundland. I've spent a lot of time talking to some of the senior geologists who have worked on the island historically, way back in the 60s and 70s. Some of the geologists who actually were part of the drill program in 2012, and some senior staff members who've worked on the island the last 3-4 years. If I was to look at all the work that was done on the island, I am fully convinced that we are just starting to scratch the surface. And how wonderful it is for a small junior company like us, where instead of starting at zero and looking for the potential, now we know for sure the potential is there with the EML because we know we have a known resource. Now we can expand on that and then continue to drill the other areas we have identified.
Right. So with over 40 known mineral occurrences under Galloper's control on the island, what kind of optionality and discovery potential does this open up for investors?
We present the market something very, very unique. A tightly held share structure, only about 50 million outstanding free trading shares, fully diluted about 69 million shares. So that is very, very attractive, considering the fact that we are only at a 4.4 million market cap as of this morning, or maybe 4 million in the last hour or so, and the potential with the multiple opportunities on the island. As I mentioned earlier, one thing that has dramatically changed is that we now have a known resource where we know drilling was stopped in mineralization due to lack of funds in 2012. What that tells me is that with the next drill phase that we will implement, which we will very, very soon, part of our focus will definitely be the Exempt Mineral Land, some confirmatory drilling there, and then expanding that potential while we continue to explore, Lucky Smoke and other areas. So realistically, what we offer right now is something very unique in the microcap junior sector, and we are just starting to scratch the surface and getting the word out. And I think once kind of word gets out as to what is happening behind the scenes, which eventually will, I think there will be a lot of interest in Galloper Gold.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk about what's coming up next in 2025. You've secured the license, and it sounds like you don't want to waste any time. Can you share what's coming up in the fall in the exploration program?
Yeah, absolutely. We fully intend to start drilling in Q4 of this year. So hopefully in the next month and a half, we will implement the process. We do have a robust target for the next 12 months. And I'm calling it 12 months because it's not only 2026, it includes 2025. So we are going to start in 2025, and it will be a rolling plan. So the next 12 months is going to be very, very aggressive drilling. We do have strategic plans in place, which I can't talk about right now, but once ready, we will put that out, which is going to allow us to be able to push this forward. I will not give you a number as to what the drill program will look like, but it will not be a small one. It will be a very aggressive one, which is going to allow us to take this forward quickly and prepare us for months 12 to 24 for the next drill phase in late 2026 and leading into mid-2027.
Okay, and how are you prioritizing targets across prospect that is 11 kilometers?
Yeah, well, realistically, the island itself is 36 kilometers long, so there's a lot more there. But again, as I mentioned, we're just scratching the surface right now. Until the awarding of the exempt mineral land, our focus was to expand drilling on Lucky Smoke, where we drilled last year in October and November and had very good results. But with the exempt mineral land right now, our guys are in process of assessing that and identifying the areas based on the historical results as to where exactly do we want to drill on the EML, and obviously continue to identify the target areas for Lucky Smoke. Not forgetting that we need to do some work on the copper anomaly also.
Okay, so let's zoom out. What should investors be looking for in the next 12 to 24 months?
Drill, drill, drill. Results and taking the project forward aggressively. One of the things that I definitely am interested in doing is I want to make sure that we offer value to investors and shareholders at an unprecedented approach. The reason I say that is because now with the 43-101 resource in our hands, we know we have something to build upon. And we know that those were the 178,800 ounces was based on 2017 values. So we know we have something more. I don't know how much more, but we do. And we need to expand on that. So I think we can offer our shareholders something much, much bigger in a much shorter time frame than the typical microcap or, let's call it startup in the exploration field. So I would venture to say that we are going to be very aggressive on drilling. We will share all results with the market in a timely manner. We want to make sure that we approach this transparently because we know we have something special. The other thing I want to focus on, because I come from a mining background, we will market the company, but 80 cents on every dollar is going to go into the ground. We are going to drill. We will drill and we will market our results. We will not market fluff. I'm not interested in wasting people's time and talking about things. I want to deliver results, and that's exactly what we will do.
Fantastic, Hratch. Thank you so much for your time.
Dimitri, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Joining us today was Hratch Jabrayan, CEO of Galloper Gold, ticker symbol BOOM or BOOM on the CSE. For more information, please visit thecse.com. Thank you and take care.